Okay, recording in progress. Okay, well, hi everybody. Amy and I are here on Zoom and we're just gonna post the recording afterward. Um, because we really tried with the Facebook Live, but the tech was not in our favor today.
Yeah.
So, um, I guess let's see. I know we've got some housekeeping for some stuff in the group and kind of talk a little bit about sort of all the deeper workings beyond like post approval and things. But we've also got some really exciting new groups and opportunities for people and some other things shifting around. So I'm really excited about that stuff. But I think first I just want to name like I know that for probably the last little stretch here, um, we've been mostly doing stuff behind the scenes with advocacy, but also supporting the growing Facebook community as well, and also getting people some really awesome referrals through the directory, which I think a lot of people don't realize that they're getting um, referrals from the directory because unlike Psychology Today, we don't send you like a text message, a carrier pigeon, and an email every time someone clicks your profile because we didn't do that. We're not a behemoth like that. We're a small organization. But it's been really cool to see the people who found connections in that way and have been able to find someone who specifically matches not just the fact that they want someone Jewish and Jewish affirming, um, but someone who meets their cultural needs and understandings, because there's so much more diversity within groups than between them. And so that's been really cool. And then I guess today we'll talk a little bit about what's happening for Asian American Pacific Islander month and Jewish American Heritage Month because I think there's an organization up in Canada that is we've collaborated with. Did you see David's message, Amy? Okay, cool. Do you want to send him the link? If you click on participants, you can grab the link out of there and then maybe he can hop on too.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, yes, okay. So sorry guys. It's all just us, right? Um, and so let's see. Okay. Um, We've got some really cool stuff this month, especially our very own Annette Poisner, who also is the leader of Hanani Jewish Social Workers and is up in Canada. She's going to deliver a really exceptional talk later this coming month about, I think, what did we call it? Wonton soup for the soul. Obviously, chicken wontons.
I
But
love that.
we're really excited about that. She's going to be bringing the five elements and yin yang, and also some really beautiful Jewish concepts because she's like a one woman Beit Midrash. I mean, she's amazing. Like her brain is amazing, and she's amazing. Her neshama is amazing. Here's David. And then we've also got a number of other webinars and things this month for AAPI that we are excited to endorse through CAEF. I'm plugging on what that stands for right now. I think it's the Canadian Anti-Semitism Education Foundation, but I could just be butchering that. Um, One of the things that we're really excited about, and David's here too. So, David, if you want to pop on, you can. If not, no worries. I know we kind of just pulled you in last minute. We've got a really cool webinar, and we're going to be starting our webinar series of incredible community members who are coming on to teach the community and restore a sense of safe learning because we know how precious learning is to us as Jews. Um, and so we're going to be learning about IFS and DID treatment and how to run a group practice as a pair and burnout. There's so much coming up, but the first one is going to be about IFS. And Dr. Rachel Freitas, she's a doctorate of social psychology and also a licensed marriage and family therapist, is going to be teaching us. I think we called it how to understand your Meshuggah self. And so I kind of imagine like the cast of Inside Out in there. And so, but Rachel's going to be teaching us about IFS. There's going to be NBCC credit available for directory members, and if you're not in the directory, it'll be available for a fee, but a small fee. But everyone's able to come free of charge to learn and to connect with Rachel and to talk about what the IFS climate is right now, as well as sort of the wisdom therein, and make some decisions on whether you want to move forward with training on that. Um, and then we've also got some really cool new support groups coming. So, as you guys know, for the last couple of years, every Friday, with very few exceptions, we have had our Ask a Jewish Therapist kind of catch all basin for allies and aspiring allies to come and ask questions of how to be supportive, but also for Jewish therapists to ask each other for support and insight and consultation about Jewish and secular issues in the mental health space and career development and all of those things. And so we decided, especially because there's a growing need in the community, we decided to go ahead and add a couple of more options based on some really popular demand. And if anyone else would like to get a gathering together, we can feature that as well. Just talk to us about it. It's easier if you do it like through JTC instead of like going and doing a wheel reinvention and like that. Um, but we've got some really cool ones. So the first one, um, Nusha Soleimani is going to be running a group. It's not just for Persian Jewish therapists, but any Jewish therapist, any colleague who feels, and grad students who feel like you have a layered identity that might fall outside of some of the dominant discourses, especially in Western and specifically like American Jewish spaces. So if you're outside of sort of that archetypal Ashkenazi space with your identity and you're clocked as like black or brown, or you have an immigrant legacy that might be different from the dominant narrative, or you experience anything that kind of layers onto your Jewish identity that makes it hard to move through spaces where those identities feel like they're being pulled in different directions or misunderstood or going through extra hurdles both within the Jewish community and outside. This group is for you. And also, if you are queer or trans as well, because we know that walking through the world with both a Jewish identity and LGBTQIA identity can be really hard right now, especially because of some anti-Semitism in one space and the exploitation of queer narratives in the other, unfortunately. So that one and all of this is in the emails. If you want the information, give us your email address so we can send it to you. I'm not posting the links in the group just for security reasons, but we can send them through email. And their registration only free, no charge or anything like that. But those are coming up soon in May. The second one, Matt Smith out there in Austin, Texas, is going to be facilitating. And Nusha is in Southern California. So okay, Matt is really graciously going to be reawakening a group that we did for about half a year after October 7th, that it was really important that we bring back to life um, in situations where there is massive global tragedy, especially when our community is like so badly hit and things are escalated. But we also see that there's pain in other communities and there's complexity and there's chaotic, painful discourse within the Jewish community as well as beyond. Sometimes it can be really hard to unpack complexity and unpack the pain of and feeling with or empathy for the other population or populations that are being affected by things right now. And so we're talking about civilian populations in Iran and southern Lebanon and Gaza and Judea, Samaria, West Bank, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to trigger anybody. And I think it's really important that because therapists are so heart-centered and we do so much extra labor to track emotion and be with people, that if we want to show up to our lives fully present, we need a safe place to go and sift through any kind of layers that come up for us without having to tighten up and having to go, oh, well, like I need to only see this one thing, even though our identities and our community are really, really important. I think if we have the headspace to go there, or we need the headspace and the safe heart space to go there, it's important to do that synchronously, live and on Zoom with facilitation. Matt's going to run it. I will act in some capacity as a bouncer and someone who can support people in breakout rooms if things get escalated. But it's really important that we have those conversations like that, as opposed to in a Facebook group, which Amy will go into in a couple minutes, about what kind of labor goes into facilitating and stewarding the space to keep it big tent and supportive and safe. So Matt's going to be doing that. That's on Mondays, starting in May. And then our Friday group, our big Ask a Jewish Therapist, we're shifting a little bit just because we're adding some other groups. But this is going to be, if anyone like allies and things, you can still give them our information to come and get questions answered. But I'm really excited that we're going to be shifting it into a professional development sort of learning and growing lab. So this is for anyone from like the beginning of the arc of your career, grad students, or even pre-contemplation of grad school, all the way up to sort of your golden hour, and really trying to make depth and story and purpose out of what you've seen, what you've experienced, and the wisdom you've amassed in your career as a therapist. So we'll be talking about shifting to private practice. For some people, moving back toward a sort of more contained job. For some people, it's adding courses or coaching or consultation or crafts like challah baking, or things like that. Uh, Judaica making, things like that. Anything that people are feeling called to sort of move in, so that we can stay generative and have a whole person behind the work that we're doing. We'll consult about marketing, about burnout, about time management, about ethics and navigating board committee, whatever comes in. But the idea is to be able to come to a space to talk about that professional side of things. And I want to also mention again that JCMHI still has really incredible support groups that are really centered around Jewish therapists, as well as other demographics like Jewish New Yorkers and gay Jews and things like that. So we're not super afraid of using our various groups to kind of center specific things. Now, the fun thing about this shift for Friday's like learning and growth lab, I guess generativity lab, is that the first Friday of the month will delve into one person's specific project, goal, vision, hurdle, whatever it is, office hour style. So everyone can learn from the consult that they're going to get. Priority and dibs go to directory members, but if for some reason that time doesn't work out for directory members that month, those spots are up for grabs, also free of charge. And so I know those will be limited, so reach out if you want. And we can talk about all sorts of things under the sun. I love consulting about that stuff. And so offering a free office hour to that in this space will be really good. And also, what I love about the format is that we will be able to bring in all of the expertise in the room. So, I think the people who come on Fridays have this incredible background. I mean, you've got people who wear multiple hats in their families. You've got people who have backgrounds in like acting and theater and, personal training, kinesiology type of stuff, and really beautiful immigrant narratives and shifts between degrees of observance and location, and also clinical backgrounds with narrative therapy and OCD and all of this stuff that comes together, that whoever shows up for that day or that week really gets the alchemy that's just there for that day. And it's a really special thing. And then we will be having, I won't go into all of it right now, but we've got a really beautiful guided intensive coming up about recovering from burnout and emerging anew in the new year that's going to come up for the high holidays. I spoke with the colleague last week. We had a great Zoom about it. And so I will share more information once she and I finish the copy on that. But it's going to be a really, really exciting process for Jewish therapists to kind of come and have a growth journey together as we start our next Jewish New Year. And then we also have been in talks with a collaborator who's going to help us out with some really cool travel opportunities to sort of keep lesser known Jewish journeys and Jewish legacies alive. Um, and I won't go into too much more on that because, again, like we have to work that stuff out with them still, but we have been really excited to consult about that stuff. Someone shared, maybe it's really good to delegate, collaborate, punt things around, and so that everyone's expertise can really glisten and shine. And so that's what the Jewish Therapist Collective was founded for in the first place. Um, and then we also are going to be having something with Sonia Albin. I think in Spanish it would be Albin. Correct, Sonia, you can go in the chat later if I got it wrong. But Sonia is also in Texas, and she's an eating disorder therapist, among other things, and passionate advocate who has rolled up her sleeves and taken to the risen dough of challah to really um, move through some beautiful emotional depth work and sustenance practices and things. And so um, she is going to be jumping in with us too to have an experience monthly for folks to come together, bake together, and connect over like the risen craft that brings us together in levity and joy and Shabbos vibes. So anyway, with that, sorry to ramble, Amy. We had a lot to get through. Um,
Oh, it's all good.
yeah,
I just wanted to make sure I had time to like, fill everyone in on stuff before my client gets here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got, because of the tech stuff, we've only got about 15 minutes left, probably 10 if you want to get to the restroom, because we know how that is, right? Um, so Amy is gonna, and feel free to, bounce stuff to me too, but I think
Yes.
it's important that the group know about, you know, how decisions about, moving things past the gate into the wild west of the group go, how we decide to step in on things, why the rules are there, and things like that. So, yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just asking so we can all workshop this together. Are we we're thinking about editing, modifying a couple rules, maybe shifting the rules to a link on the website instead, or
Yeah.
what's
So
our vision?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I spoke to our web person because the website's been a little neglected. I'll own it. But not the directory. The
It
directory's been
happens.
fine, right? But we are going to have a full page on the website about rules and boundaries for the Facebook group, why it exists, where to bring things that might have a little more tenderness to it, and why it's not a free advertising space, because it's person and relationship centered, not sales centered. Um, so
Yes.
that's all going to go on the website. And that way, if anything gets kind of derailed or wonky, instead of sending people back to this like boring looking rules list, or as a team, we'll be able to send people the link. So hopefully that'll help things along a bit. We'll see.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Right.
a it's a work in progress. So
Well, yeah, and I
yeah.
think even though like we had those conversations, like haven't done one in a while, I might do another one, but those webinars about how to manage distress in the,
Yes.
chaotic world of Facebook groups and why it's not really safe per se to wander through the even with
Hmm.
all of that, I think our nervous system still imagines that we're in our own living room when really we're in like a public subway station. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nope. And to reiterate what you said, we created this space. Well, you and I hopped on to help. I was like, I got you. I'll jump on your back.
I
But
love you.
we
Yeah.
We created this space because we were experiencing mass chaos in another group. It
Yeah.
was very unnerving. Our nervous systems were fried.
Yep.
Like, and we're like, how do we do this? Go
Yeah.
JTC. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
there's a method to our madness. And I get that it's social media. I get that oh, it's a Facebook group, whatever. We're a mindfully constructed Facebook group.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that holds us apart is it's not a dumping ground for whims that feel good in the moment. It's really a space where I think our Modmin team that you lead and that, has, I mean, everyone on there, David, Amanda, Shannon, yeah, everybody is so thoughtful about the experience we want to offer because Jewish therapists need support these days, and it's really, really important that we have the regard for each other and the sort of temporal experience over time that people have in our group, as opposed to just these firecrackers that, like, okay, we'll just bring the janitor cart after the mess. And we aren't janitors, right? We're stewards, and it's really important that we uphold that responsibility to each other and to ourselves, right? And in turn to the people we serve. So,
There's no shade to janitors, but if we can prevent the mess from happening, that's
mhm.
what we would like to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And so what
we don't want to
happens?
have to call in a janitor.
Yeah, right. And we will, like, when we have to, because it's we do. Um,
It happens.
but Amy, so what happens if, let's say, someone wants to share a post that is um not necessarily against any rules, but happens to use language, either individual words or the way they're strung together, that as we read it as a Modmin team, we think to ourselves, oh, that's going to be a dumpster fire. Or wow, like people are going to feel like they've been decked in the gut. Or, like
Mm-hmm.
it's impassioned and important. But in a Facebook group, we look at it and we go, oh, that's going to lead to a lot of pain and a lot of people from all perspectives running away.
Yep. So and you and I talked about this too, but what I said to that was, you know, triggering topics and subjects have been dealt with a lot pre and post 10-7 in our group. And you can always, if you know how, and I'll give anyone who wants a tutorial, but you can always search previous posts by going to the little magnifying glass, typing in like whatever it is you were thinking about posting. 9 times out of 10, somebody already did. And there was a really lively and hopefully productive discussion in the comments. And so trying not to be so repetitive. There he is. Because, we again, we it's not that we don't want to approve triggering posts, but we need to approve them at our own discretion because then it means more, like Helena said, it's time and labor for us to then go, oh, great, now my phone's like beeping off the hook. This person reported a comment. This person reported a comment. And
Yeah.
it then becomes not safe for anyone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we don't want that.
And
So
and
there,
to add
if yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I think to add to that too, when people come in to post something that might be inflammatory, either, you know, telling everyone something where they might feel accused of being lazy or accused of being too left or too right or too heartless or not
Mm-hmm.
principled enough or whatever, um, when we read those, we're not just saying, oh, how's this going to impact community? We're saying, wow, this person needs to share this thing. Like they have something bubbling up within them that they need connection with. Not
Mm-hmm.
not a podium for, but connection with, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
often message them to remind them about our drop-in group, or we might make a post ourselves that's of a similar topic to see if they could engage in that space so that maybe the topic is given voice and space to decant, but it's not necessarily offered on the serving tray where it was conceptualized because I mean, Amy and I have seen some shit, right? And I mean, David too, because you've been here a while now,
Yeah, David.
right? David's a veteran now. Um, but like,
Yeah, he is.
we aren't just saying, how are you going to impact the group, but what are you
Mhm.
needing right now? And so if we push back and say, okay, well, maybe instead of yelling fire in this movie theater, you can come sit down with us over here around a fire and roast some marshmallows over this, right? Or maybe you can sit around
Yes.
this fire with us and cry with us and yell with us. But
Oh,
maybe not
yeah.
in the movie theater. So
Maybe we go outside and scream into the void, which is totally fine.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I like screaming into the void. Super quick
Yeah.
housekeeping, other thing. Um, I was telling Helena before we went live that I may have been up at like 3 in the morning, which like why was I up? I don't know, because I was. And there were like several pending posts, and I'm like, decline. We only allow advertising on Toot Your Horn Tuesday. We only allow advertising in the comments of Toot Your Horn Tuesday. Why? Because then it becomes a scrolling nightmare.
Yeah.
Um, if you have something to advertise, it's contained, you know where to find it. You can always go up to that little search button, type in Toot Your Horn Tuesday. All the previous posts since the page's existence should pop up. And you can go through, and everybody is welcome to comment with all of their stuff. If you submit a post separately, it will be politely declined, as I have already done 5 times today,
Yeah.
maybe six. Who's
Yeah.
counting? Um, we don't do it to be jerks. We don't do it to make you mad. We just want to make sure that everybody is getting the same treatment, because if we say yes to one, we have to say yes to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we don't have rules.
Yeah.
And then
And
chaos reigns.
And we're going to have another page up on the website too that Amy will be able to give to people with the respectful decline as well about how to collaborate with us, how to
Yes.
get your message or vision or things out to the JTC. So Rachel, for example, Rachel Freitas, who's going to be doing this incredible IFS talk, we've talked and she is giving her time and wisdom and expertise to this presentation she's doing, but she's also getting the opportunity to get in front of our whole community and say, here I am if you need me, and here's my expertise if you want, right? She's also getting a chance to distribute her contact information, any way for people to sign up for trainings, consultations, things with her, right? And so that's how that works. So we aren't a place for, I mean, it's not a place to come in and take over giving. It's a interdependent
We're
space,
collective.
right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
so if you want, like, that's the way to do it. If you want to offer um a webinar, or you want to collaborate with us in some way, that's the way to get yourself in front of the group as a giving expert, as opposed to coming into a space that's very I and now and very relationally focused with like a B2B flag and going, hi, I sell this, buy it, right? Because that takes the personal piece away from it. And we're really a more
Mhm.
person-centered community, relational-centered community, as opposed to just dropping ads. It turns things from an
Yes.
I and thou relationship to an I and it when things get saturated with promos. And we're not just talking about coming in and promoting yourself. We're also talking about getting someone else to post your flyer for you so that it's not self promo, but it's still the thing. It's called slivertising, right? Ways of
Mhm.
pitching sales that try to get around a group's rules when you'd probably be spending a lot less effort, offering that in other ways. So, yeah. Did I get that, Amy? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Because like what I've seen a couple times recently has been like, let me like, here's this thing, tell them I sent you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
No.
like, okay, like, good on you for earning a referral fee, right? Um, which
Hmm.
and the thing is, I think we also want to make really clear, like, this isn't about scarcity mindset. This isn't about
Hmm.
competition or something like that. I think it's really easy
Hmm.
to forget the humanity behind stuff and kind of arrive at that
Hmm.
conclusion, but like that's not what that is, right? Just
Hmm.
show up and be in community before trying to turn people into your customers. Like they're your colleagues first, right? Um,
Yeah. And we're a community first and foremost. Like we
yeah,
want to be a container for people to come feel safe,
yeah,
hopefully for the most part,
yeah,
and have that sense of community.
yeah. Now,
Not,
one more
oh,
thing. I know that like
okay.
we've only got a couple more minutes, so I just want to touch on this really quick. We try our best. Part of the JTC's commitment is just an iterative process around ethics and making sure to be transparent on things. And, there's other things we have to work on, organization, media on things, stuff like that. But we've been getting a lot of outreach from people about some really untransparent, and I'm not gonna use other descriptors, but things in the Jewish mental health space to watch out for. So first off, we are not involved in that. If you're getting spam emails saying that they'll sell you our contact list, like they don't have our contact list. That's locked down, right?
Yep.
Second, we've gotten a number of outreaches from some licensed clinicians, but also like a trove of grad students and people adjacent to the field who are not professionals and people who were curious about how another organization might have gotten their so much information about them that are very
Yes.
personal, saying we've seen you, we like you, we want you in our directory, right? And aggressively selling, like, sign up within 10 days and you get 3 months free and all this stuff. And like, we're a vetted community, and it's like, well, if you were vetted, you wouldn't be trying to sell to like a grad student or like someone who just likes to consume Jewish mental health social media content or things like that. And it's really important to like take a breath. And if you're getting messages like that, just, if there's nothing specific to you, one of the quickest ways that I identify mass market cold call stuff, especially on Instagram, Facebook, things like that, if there's nothing in the body of the email that's specifically about you, right? Where your service area is, what your practice niche is, how long you've been practicing, a salient quote or theme you've talked about, even if it has personal, intimate language directed toward you, it wasn't written for you. Okay. And so, like, take a
Hmm.
breath. Remember that you deserve to be spoken to that way and respected that way, but it's not real. Okay. So,
No.
just pause on it. And if you want to get to know people or businesses that seem to be wanting to help you, um, write back and see if they can actually have a conversation with you as an individual or decide to move on, or ask in the group, things like that. But I'm sorry people are getting spammed. I'm sorry there's an
Yes.
influx of AI creation and kind of IKEA furniture style content out there for Jewish therapists. Um, it's a quick way to see that stuff is underneath the names of the posters. You can see an AI
Hmm.
tag, and if you click on it, it'll tell you how much of it was AI. Um, so just be careful out there. Stick to your heart. Get outside. But a great way to connect with us. You can always message us.
Yes.
And come to Zooms. And if you want to get a group together of early career professionals or rural Jews or whatever, we're happy to put it together and amplify for you and get you the password to the Zoom account. Yeah. So I know that was a
Totally.
lot. If you don't get the emails and you want the information to register for this stuff, slip it to one of us or put it in the
Yep.
comments if you're daring. And we'll get those emails out this week with the newsletter. So
Yes. Yes. And also huge props to David because he does a lot of work vetting everybody that comes in our group. So if you say like, hey, Joe Schmo, like come join our group. And you're like, hey, I invited my friend to join 5 days ago. Well, David's on it. He's
yeah,
working hard. He messages everyone. We
yeah,
don't pay him. Sorry,
right.
but he's
Yeah,
awesome. So, there's
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We pay him in compliments.
Just to add to that, if you're inviting someone, oftentimes they just don't see the invitation. So it's
Mhm.
more likely to happen if you like send them a message or send them an email with the link, because a lot of times people I think just don't see the invitations.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And let me just add, just real quick,
Yeah.
when it comes to some of the difficult posts, I just want to reiterate that like we really try hard, especially Helena and Amy, but we have a group chat, and if something's not getting the attention that you want, it's not because we're not looking at it, and we like go back and forth and discuss, and we try to, even if something feels prickly, we try our best to get to the heart of the message and like how can we support this message in a way that's gonna be more conducive
yeah,
to like communication.
yeah, yeah. We
Totally.
Yeah. So if if you see something and you really want something improved, um, feel free to reach out, and if we can work to craft something together, not just to get you the nervous system sensation that getting that post approved would deliver, but rather like a more enduring experience of being cradled by the group or people in the group that might think, feel, experience stuff similar to you. Like, we'd love to help you with that because you deserve more than just a fleeting nervous system experience of people reacting to your words. So, um, yeah. And keep client info way down, guys, way down.
Yes, short and
So,
sweet, please. If you're not sure, let us know,
yeah,
but like very, very brief. I have a client. They're this, they're looking for that.
yeah,
Um, because if you're not sure, text message it to one of us and we can proof it with you
yeah,
and go whittle it down a little bit and then you're good to go. But the
yeah,
shorter the better is always good because again, we care about that stuff. So
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna turn the recording off now. It was great seeing everybody, and